Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. My apologies for having to reschedule. I talked about the show is always scheduled for 7:30, 7:35, one or the other, but this morning I ended up having to take my son to school because we just had some stuff going on this morning, some illnesses in the household. So send one up real quick if you're a faithful person. Send one up just for some healings in the ChrisBeCappinn home. But we're here now. It'll be a quick show because I still got other things that I need to get done, but I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate your patience. And like I said in the post, sorry for the inconvenience. So let's just jump right into it. 3 games on the board for today. Yesterday, we had one official play. It was the Clippers. They got the job done for us. Kawhi Leonard is an absolute monster. Man-child beast. Love you, Kawhi. Appreciate you, my brother. Norman Powell first game, and Kawhi Leonard last night getting the job done for us. The Knicks wet the bed last night as well. Jalen Brunson out there foul baiting. It was not good for them last night either. Probably should have pulled the trigger on Detroit. We talked about that yesterday on the show, but neither here nor there. Just a 1-0 night. So not even gonna go through comments right now, just because I'm a little, like I said, it's gonna be a quicker show, but I do appreciate you all as always. We'll get back into comments tomorrow, or maybe a little bit later in the show. Real quick, jaXon, AI sports betting tool, 50% off using the promo code ChrisBeCappinn, two P's, 2 N's, on whatever tier it is that you sign up for. Use it to handicap player prop size totals, team totals, whatever it is that you're looking for. jaXon can give you some analysis for it. So today, going back to the unders, jaXon went 1-0 yesterday. Like the Bogdanovich under is 1.5 boards, and it was plus money as well. There was a winner yesterday. The day before that, jaXon like Corey Joseph under. That was a winner. So I'm going right back to the unders. The prompt for today is, what is the best under player prop bet in the NBA today and why? jaXon tells me that it likes Jackson Hayes of the Los Angeles Lakers to go under his 2.5 rebounds today. So real quick on the analysis, it says that when you look at the defense versus position, Minnesota ranks second in the league at limiting Hayes' position. So at the center position, making it a tough matchup for him to grab boards. Over the last 20 games, he's averaged 5.6 rebounds, but this includes games with significantly more minutes than he's likely to see today. Against Minnesota this season, Hayes averaged 4.67 rebounds in 3 matchups, but his under rate of 0% in those games suggests his line is set too low. So he has gone over in all the games. Hayes season trends. Hayes has hit the under in 24.56% of the times this season, showing that he's typically exceeds this line. However, the Timberwolves' elite rebounding defense and playoff intensity make this a strong underplay. Minnesota's defense is one of the best in the league at limiting rebounds for opposing big men, and Hayes is not the primary rebounder for the Lakers. With the Timberwolves' strong interior presence and the slower pace of the playoff basketball, Hayes is unlikely to see enough opportunities to exceed this line. Under 2.5 boards for Jackson Hayes today. Best number jaXon offers is plus 110 over on DraftKings. So you're just riding with jaXon, then you like Jackson Hayes to go under today. Real quick on these games for today, I did place 2 bets. There's a third that I'm looking to add, but it's actually a fourth that I'm looking to add, but we'll see. We'll see how that ends up. All right, so I put these lines in last night. Looks like this has moved back to 4.5. It's consensus in favor of the Indiana Pacers. This is the game. So just jumping straight to it. If you watched the first game, you saw the Bucks absolutely get steamrolled in the first quarter. In the first half, I think they gave up 34 points. Nobody on the Bucks got off the plane outside of Giannis and Gary Trent Jr. The big news here is Damian Lillard, right? And that's one of the reasons why I don't necessarily want to play the side quite yet. Dame is listed as questionable, upgraded to questionable in this game. We'll see if he actually plays. The word from Doc Rivers is that he looked quote unquote great. So we'll see. We shall see how that goes. I'm playing a player prop in this game because I'm not sure of the side and if Dame is going to play. If Dame's going to play, I do kind of favor the Indiana Pacers. I think in Dame's first game back, I don't think it's necessarily going to be the greatest spot to back him. Dame has missed at least 2 weeks, so I don't care how good he's been looking. He hasn't been in game action, and I took the Pacers, the Bucks in game 1, and they wet the bed. I'm not going back to Kevin Porter Jr. because I think Dames could eat into some of those minutes that he sees as the primary ball handler for the second unit. But the play that I did play here is I took Brook Lopez under his 11.5 points. I think you can get a -115 on DraftKings. It's a little bit better number than I got last night at -120 on Bet365. And I just think this series is not going to be a Brook Lopez series. I'm not sure if they'll win. I kind of thought the Bucks were live, but I do think that they're going to play a lot better defense. And I think some of that has to do with Brook Lopez sitting on the bench. I'm going through and I'm just watching the first half of the game again last night. Brook Lopez is late to all the closeouts. He just literally think he's a shooting guard. He's standing around taking a whole bunch of three-pointers. They're not going in. So I actually think that he gets played off the floor. If you go back and look at it, he played 14.5 minutes in the first half. Was getting absolutely cooked on the defensive end. I'm talking about all the closeouts. He was just too late getting there. A lot of threes being made. He wasn't providing much on the offensive end either. In the 14.5 minutes that he played, he scored 4 points on 2 for 4 shooting. He had the second worst plus-minus on the team outside of Giannis at a -18. In the second half, he played 5 minutes and 47 seconds. I think that's pretty telling because I don't think he's going to get that many minutes in this game either. Jericho Sims actually played pretty well for them when he came off the bench. In the 5.5 minutes, about 5.5 minutes that he played in the second half, he had 5.5 points. He had 5 points on 1 for 2 shooting. He grabbed 3 rebounds. He was just literally out there. He finished with 9 points and 4 boards in 20 minutes. Jericho Sims, like I said, took his minutes in game 1. And that was the push that when Jericho Sims was in the game, that was the push that they had to kind of fight back in the game before eventually still losing and not covering the spread. So push come to shove, I think Bobby Portis maybe takes some of his minutes as well. But I think Brook Lopez, because of the defensive liability, he can't move his feet fast enough. I think Brook Lopez gets played off the floor here today. I did bet Brook Lopez under his 11.5 points. So that's the first game. The next one is, if we just go in rotational order, is the Memphis Grizzlies in Oklahoma City Thunder. So that's not open. I saw some 15s when the Grizzlies were getting absolutely blown out in that last game against Memphis. And it's come down now to 14.5. Last night, the consensus was 14. Now it's up to 14.5 now. And looks like it's 14.5 everywhere. I know there's some statements that came out from Ja Morant said that, that was the worst game we played. We can't absolutely play that bad again. Couple things here. So when we talked about this game on Saturday, I said that it was a really good spot for OKC because not only does OKC, go back and listen to the handicap of that one if you want the in-depth analysis, but this is just a really bad matchup for Memphis all around. Memphis is a team that likes to get out and run. OKC doesn't allow that. I think they scored 2 points in transition in the first 3 quarters. Thunder just don't give up points in transition. Outside of that, Memphis is a team that doesn't shoot the 3-point shot well, and that's what the Achilles heel of the Thunder team can be. So if those threes aren't falling from Jared Jackson Jr., and I know they put Kennard in. Well, they didn't put Kennard in. They put John Conchar in. Those guys are going to have to knock down some shots, in my opinion. I think it's just going to be too hard for Memphis to score the basketball. So a couple things here. Does Memphis play better? I don't think they can play but so much worse. Is it going to come on the offensive end? I don't think so. I don't think the offense is going to look too much better. Now, granted, I'm not saying that they're going to score 80 points again, but their team total was 107.5 last night, and that's what I played. I took the under on their team total. Right now, their team total is – you still can get 107.5 right now. It is dropping to 106.5, but it's some 107s. There's 2 107s on the market right now. I don't think Memphis gets to 108. Remember I said this before the last game, that the totals between these two teams were 8-1 and 1 to the under. It's typically the Grizzlies that can't score the basketball, and the Thunder defense just sets up really well. I don't think that they're going to be able to score in this spot either. A couple trends I wanted to talk about in this game. Dogs that lost by 30 points or more in game 1, they're just 2-9 straight up, 4-7 against the spread in games 2, going all the way back to 2006. Favorites laying 14 points or more in game 2 are 5-0 straight up, 4-1 against the spread, 4-1 to the under, dating all the way back to 2008 as well. So I know those are small sample sizes, but those are some more things that kind of back the Thunder's defense in this spot. I think the Thunder's defense is actually better than their offense, and I think the Grizzlies are going to continue to struggle to score. The only difference between this game and Sunday's game, in my opinion, is that the Grizzlies actually they got embarrassed for first and foremost, and then also that they only had 1 day to fly from Memphis to OKC, no time to prep. Interim head coach, all that good. Well, interim head coaches stayed the same, but Yeah, will they try to fight and keep it within the number? Yes. I'm not playing the points with the Grizzlies, with the Thunder in this spot, but I do think that the Thunder's defense is going to show up, hold this team under 108 points. So I bet the team total under for the Memphis Grizzlies in this spot. No look on player props, but I really should have probably bet a couple. I think, just kind of going with the handicap of, the Thunder don't give up a lot of points in the paint. The Thunder don't give up a lot of points in transition. I think you just kind of look at, if you got the tools, something like an outlier or, one of those things, I think you just kind of look at, the players that like to score in the paint for the Memphis Grizzlies. Maybe you take some unders there. You look at the players that like to get out in transition, like a Desmond Bane. You probably play his under. So not sure what those lines are, but those would be my secondary plays if I'm playing anything in this game. I did bet the Memphis Grizzlies team total under 107.5. And last but not least, my Los Angeles Lakers are at the crib today. This line last night was at 5.5. It looks like it has stayed at about 5.5. Total has shot down. This opened as high as 217.5, all the way down to 210.5. Now, I think that's a tad bit too low, but that's just what I'm thinking. I know that these two teams play very, very slow. I know the Lakers got absolutely smoked in game one. If we go back and look at game one, and I was worried of the Lakers in that spot. I didn't think that it was the greatest spot for the Lakers. They got absolutely steamrolled the Lakers in that game. And a lot of it was, lack of physicality, but also they just couldn't stop the Minnesota Timberwolves from making threes. I do think that, if anybody knows how to put Luka in, more vulnerable positions on the defensive end, is definitely Chris Finch, is his coaching staff, and you saw that. I mean, they were going at Luka's neck. Everybody trying to ISO Luka. So I trust JJ Redick to have a game plan to, kind of combat that. I trust the Lakers offense to play a little bit better, but again, I'll go back to it, man. I don't like the matchup here for the Lakers. Like, far as the series go, do I think they bounce back in this game? I guess so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the series, though, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure, man. The Timberwolves are a really, when I'm betting the Timberwolves, there's a couple places I like to take the Timberwolves. One, on the road. They've been much better on the road. I don't got the ATS numbers in front of me, but they've been much better on the road than they've been at home. Two, I like to bet the Memphis Grizzlies when they're dogs. And these are the perfect situations to bet the Timberwolves. There are some trends, right? Some trends that say that when home favorites lose, the bounce back, the zigzag theory, comes into play. Series game twos where you previously lost as a favorite, then you're a favorite in the next game. 71-19 straight up, 52-37-1 against the spread. That's about 58% going all the way back to I don't even know how far. Series game twos in the first round specifically, where a home favorite lost and then their home favorite in game two, are 37-8 straight up, 27-18 against the spread, going all the way back to 2002. That's about 60%. So that does says the Lakers bounce back here. Will Minnesota be happy with stealing one and not getting two? I'm not quite sure, man. We saw Timberwolves win a couple times, in the series early last year. I think this was a situation they were in against Phoenix. I think this was a situation they were in against Denver, and I want to say that they won both of those games, and Denver didn't bounce back in game two either. So that trend has not been as profitable just going back to last season. Take with that information, do what you want. If I'm betting the game, I think the Lakers early makes a lot of sense. Even though they lost the last game by 22 points, the Lakers have been money in the first half. They've been not in the first half, but in the first quarter. And, I'm listening to the reports from JJ Redick yesterday. He says, they had their best practice since, I think he says since second best practice of the year or something like that, or the second best practice in the last 5 months or something he said along those lines. So do I expect the Lakers to be locked in? Because you don't want to lose two games in a row, especially on your home court. That's supposed to be where you play better at. The Lakers have been much better at home than they've been on the road. So I think the Lakers first quarter -2 is the best number that was available last night on Bet365. If I had to play it, I think that's what I would play. Even with them losing by 22 points in game one, they still won the first quarter by 7. It wasn't until the second quarter that they got cooked 38-20. And then, Minnesota never looked back. They ended up winning the third quarter by 5. And they won the fourth quarter too by 6. So it's not like I think Minnesota's going to take their foot off the gas. I just think the Lakers are going to start early. I think they play with a sense of urgency. So if I'm betting the game, I'm betting the Lakers first quarter minus the 2 in this spot would be my top look here. Like I said, I don't have time to go through all the comments, but I appreciate everybody for tapping in as always. Didn't really get a chance to use Outlier and show you guys why I was fading Brook Lopez. Just know Brook Lopez is an absolute fade in my opinion. So I haven't bet the Lakers first quarter. Memphis team total under is official bet. Brook Lopez under 11.5 points is official bet for me as well. And then the one that I didn't talk about adding was real quick. Let me just go through this real quick because this is something that I considered just since I woke up this morning. When I first woke up this morning, before things got a little hectic, I was looking at the team total for the Indiana Pacers today, and I was looking at the under. So I didn't really get too much into that handicap, but I think the Bucks play a little bit better here because I think you take Brook Lopez off the floor first and foremost, and I think if you go back and look at game one, let's just go back and look at some of these numbers real quick. So, So we go back and look at it, right? The way that the Pacers scored the basketball, they shot 51.9%. Second half, they only scored 50 points though. And we got to look at where they scored the ball from. The Bucks are not a team that play bad defense. Their defensive efficiency, I think, has been really, really good. Get Dame back or don't, I think that they play a little bit better defense. The Indiana Pacers got to 117. I think their team total today is 117, and they shot 38% from the three-point line. I think the Bucks play a little bit better and with a little bit more sense of urgency in that regard. I look at the way that they were able to score the basketball. The Bucks gave up 13 points off turnovers. The Pacers scored 22 points in transition. I think some of those things come crashing back down a little bit. So I highly considered the Pacers team total under. I think the number was 117.5. And if I'm betting anything in this game, it actually come down now. It's actually 116.5. So yeah, I agree with the money coming in on the Pacers team total under. I think if the Bucks, even whether they win or lose, I think that their defense will be a little bit better. Really, I'm not sure about their offense. Kyle Kuzma out there laying a donut. I just think that it's going to be a little bit slower paced game as well. I don't know if you can count on guys like Taurean Prince and, Ryan Hollins. Like those are, defensive guys before offensive guys, in my opinion. The Bucks also like to shoot a ton of threes, and the Pacers do a really good job against three-point shooting teams. So I just think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring game, and I expect the Bucks defense to play a little bit better than they did in the first half, giving up 77 points. So under on their team total would be my prediction for the as a matter of fact, let's just add that. It's not an official play, but the Indiana Pacers team total under would be the thing that I would be looking at here. Let's see. Indy, not sure why I can't get red again, but Indy team total under 116.5 would be the play if I was making a secondary play, because we got Brook Lopez already under his points. But that's the way I'm looking, man. Like I said, we'll get back to regularly scheduled programming tomorrow. I'll go through the comments. I do appreciate you all for tapping in. Check the resources out. They're all pinned in the description of the video, as always. And appreciate you all for tapping in. Like I said, apologies again for being a little late with the show today. But I wish you guys the best of luck on whatever it is that you're betting, as always. And I will catch you guys in the next one, man. I'm out. Enjoy your Tuesday.